A very good evening once again. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and without further ado, let's get straight to our news. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has said that government will upgrade forest reserves and wildlife reserves to national parks to safeguard wildlife. The decision will boost conservation efforts and prioritize protection of tourists. This was in a message read by the Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja during the UN Wildlife Day celebration at Ngorongoro Primary School in Chenjejo District. Details in this report.
Serving wildlife for present and future generations. In his message read by the Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja, he highlighted plans to build more tourism roads, upgrade aerodromes, and utilize ICT to enhance conservation and tourism promotion.
By the year 2023, tourism contributed employment for 1.6 million people, 68% of whom were females, accounting to 14.7% of the total number of jobs. Tourism accounts to 3.6% of GDP. Government will continue to strategically invest in the tourism sector to boost the sector in order to benefit from high rates of return associated with the tourism industry.
Government aims to combat wildlife crimes and eliminate human-induced threats such as poaching and encroachment on conservation areas.
It is also important to note that loss of biodiversity has a long-term negative impact on human survival. Uganda is one of the top biodiverse regions in the world, endowed with exceptional wildlife diversity. Uganda hosts more than 50% of the world's remaining population of the mountain gorillas, several other mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, butterflies, fish, etc. Uganda boasts of the best wilderness tourism sites.
President Museveni stressed the significance of biodiversity for human survival, noting Uganda's rich natural diversity. He reaffirmed government's commitment to investing in tourism, a major contributor to the country's foreign exchange earnings.
Development of infrastructure and tourism support services is crucial for a vibrant tourism industry. Electricity grid, ICT infrastructure have been extended to most tourism attractions. Government has constructed tourist trails and rescue facilities on Mount Rwenzori and is exploring the possibility of electricity cables on Mount Rwenzori.
Minister Matia Kasaija urged Ugandans to protect wetlands and other natural habitats to mitigate human-wildlife conflicts.
Banywanyi bange batata na bamama nkanywa kurolerera enkurakurana yihanga linumbye obugayiga abantu bamuke ombisharu kandi yiteka likwija kamba ibiro katoyita ushangiro oli mu tandika kushara amagezo koraki kurugamu ombisharu.
Tourism Minister Kano Tom Butime assured continued dedicated service to the country.
Honorable Prime Minister, with your usual support, existing and future partnerships, we are very confident, highly optimistic that we shall achieve more and overcome the challenges that exist in the sector.
The State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Moyingo, has encouraged stakeholders in technical colleges to begin programs that involve the elderly to train in technical colleges. Government has started improving the quality of technical courses to allow an increased number of youth yearning to join. Details in this report.
Uganda ranks among countries in the African continent with the increasing numbers of unemployment among youth who are seeking employment outside Uganda. Unemployment among the youth can be reduced, although it needs a partnership between government and stakeholders in technical colleges to change the mindset on technical courses. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, has urged stakeholders in technical colleges to begin programs involving the elderly who can be trained in technical colleges.
The amount of money we've been sending for capitation grant is not enough. I agree it's not enough because the cost of living has gone up. But I've taken a note of all these issues and I'm going back to cabinet to see to it that something good comes out of this. And the fortunate thing is that we are right now, we have started the budgeting process. So these are things we can easily accommodate. I appeal to the parents, the children, the students, wherever you are, whatever the reason, this nothing should keep you out of school. Go to school, get the skill exercise skills, go to work, and then go to develop your country.
He was commissioning 31 billion shillings teaching facilities of plumbing, carpentry and electrical workshops at Uganda Technical College, Kichwamba in Kabarole district. The function coincided with the 14th graduation ceremony for over 850 graduates. Minister Muyingo encouraged Ugandans to embrace the modernized technical colleges as centers of excellence. The State Minister for Culture, Peace Mutuzo, said changing the mindset on technical and vocational skills is vital and said despite being a minister, she has children trained in technical colleges and encouraged others to emulate her.
That the courses offered here are not necessarily for failures, neither are they for poor parents. I am a minister, my son has completed a diploma in civil engineering, because from senior 3 we agreed is going to be civil engineering. When he missed it in Makerere and other universities by 0.4, was enough to bring him right here to begin with the diploma. Secondly, we need more technicians now. And technicians can really be technicians when they are doing civil works, like welding. So many times we spend money into universities and when somebody completes, cannot do something even very small on a building until he has technicians behind him. So let's begin small.
The chairperson of the Governing Council, Richard Rwabuhinga, said the 31 billion teaching facility at the college would benefit many, although there is need for more funding to enable the college acquire facilities to accommodate the girl child.
As a country, we suffer from 3 major challenges. We have a skills mismatch, a skills deficit, and finally a skills crisis. Most of the students that leave the gates of universities take a year, 2, 3, 4 without getting any formal employment because the skills they have acquired are not rhyming with what the job market requires out there. But with this now, competence-based training, the CBET policy, it is answering that gap, whereby the students who leave the gates of UTC Kichwamba, they go out to create jobs, not to seek for jobs.
Minister for Kampala, Hajat Misa Kabanda, has urged Muslim women to take up the government's self-development programs to transform their lives. She was launching the Quran distribution campaign in Kampala. Details in this report.
Voice of Africa, through its followers who joined Team Amanu, has donated 15,000 in Luganda and English Qur'ans to Muslims. This is done to enable Muslims spread Islam through their studies and to encourage on native languages. Kampala Minister Minsa Kabanda urged Muslim women to take advantage of government programs.
We have money in government, we are giving it out, but sometimes Muslim women don't attend meetings, they don't want to go for political meetings, and if they don't go for political meetings, that means they will not know what is happening there. But if you attend a political meeting, then you come out to know what is happening there. We have money for PDM, we have money for GROW, we have money for youth livelihood, we have money for yoga. All that money is there for us. Government has already offered that money.
He further urged Muslims to educate and teach their children religion for their future to be bright.
No matter whether you have a job or you don't have a job, because no man can take a woman without education. If you want your woman to go for marriage, they will always ask, has she gone to school? How far has she gone? Okay, we know there is, but after school, you can even look for other things to do.
The resident district commissioner for Mukono district, Hajat Fatuma Ndisaba, urged people to adopt the Quran to expand on their knowledge.
When you read, you get solutions for the problems that you have in your family, at your place of work, for your children, in your marriage, in the nation. We get to know what we should recite when you have a problem. When you are too much excited, you're happy with what you've gotten as good thing, you know what to recite, you know whatever you're supposed to be doing. And this is a book that brings back the hearts of the people, that depressed, those who feel that they've given, like God is not listening to them.
Sheikh Harun Rashid Kasangati said that Arabic is difficult for some Muslims, which is why they decided to distribute English Qur'ans to facilitate their reading.
Our Muslim community, they don't know how to translate Arabic language, as our Quran are written in Arabic language. That's why we have translated them so that people could understand their religion and put into consideration and into practice their religion. Because when you are reading the Quran translated one, you will understand what you are reading.
For 5 years, Voice of Africa has been involved and 12 million copies of the Quran have been distributed. The event is sponsored by the Union of Muslim Councils for East, Central and Southern Africa. Mike Bakabulindi compiled for you this report.
The Ndiga clan head who was shot dead last week has been laid to rest at Mbale, Maokota Mpigi district, the Ndiga clan ancestral home. Dignitaries from the central government, Mengo and mourners stand up for the send-off of the fallen clan head, Engineer Daniel Bosa. His Majesty the Kabaka of Uganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, in his message delivered by the First Deputy Katikiro of Buganda, Professor Twaha Kawese Chigongo, asks the government to bring the killers to book.
Mourners have converged at the Ndiga ancestral grounds in Mbale, Maokota Mpigi district for the send-off of the late Ndiga clan head, Engineer Daniel Bosa, who was killed last week. Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, in a message read by the First Deputy Katikiro, Professor Twaha Kawese Chigongo, advised government to arraign the killers in court.
Tusaba abavunanyizibwa okwanguyako okunoonyereza n'okuzuula abaakoze ekikolwa kino bakwatibwe era bakangavvulwe.
Kabaka Mutebi described the late as the person who served with integrity.
Obuganda bufiiriddwa omuntu ow'enkizo, abadde omwetoowaze, omwesimbu era ng'akulembedde bulungi ekika kye. Alese eddibu ddene mu lukiiko lw'abataka gy'abadde aweereza ng'omuwanika, so nga era yaweerezaako mu bitongole ebirala eby'obwakabaka. Tumusaaliddwa nnyo.
On behalf of the government, State Minister for ICT Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo delivered government's condolence message.
President yatuusizza obubaka eri maama Namwandu, obubaka obuwandiike n'obubaka obw'okuyambako okulaba nti omukolo guno tusiibula jjajjaffe obulungi mu kitiibwa ekimugwanidde.
The Nup president, also the grandchild in the family, performed all ritual norms and was concerned that names of killers are all from the Ndiga clan.
Bwendi mujjanja kwogera abalabye batatugedde tewayogedde nti abatemu dejjajjaffe Lwomwa babadde bandiga nga balina amannya gandiga ekyo kisoboka kitya okubeerawo agoma wano naye nga twatuuka tutya ku leve eyo twatuuka tutya awo basebo ne bannyabo.
On behalf of clan heads, the speaker of Bataka clan, Augustine Kizito Mutumba, says they have lost a uniting factor.
Olukiiko olwatudde ku Lwokutaano oluwedde lwasiimye emirimu gya Engineer Daniel Bossa gy'akoze mu nsi eno. Bendiga mukubire Lwomwa omubuze mu ngalo kubanga yasiimiddwa.
Some of the mourners have their own experience on clan head burial.
Sinzo kunewunyisa omusajja bamuzise mu kinnya kinene kiwanvu nnyo.
Lwali tumanyi no babateeka mu keesi nga ffe naye kinewunyisiza nga tebabateeka mu keesi ate nga babateeka mu mbugo empitirivu ennyo.
Kinewunyisizaako nti ekinnya kigazi sikirabangako fuuti 15.
The late engineer Daniel Bossa has been laid to rest following all cultural norms. Sebira Andrew compiled this report.
Meanwhile, the Ndiga clan members have welcomed the newly installed Lwomwa Omutaka Eria Lwasi Buzabo, who follows in the footsteps of the fallen Buganda Ndiga clan head Daniel Bossa, who was killed recently. Lwomwa Eria Lwasi Buzabo vowed to serve His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II and unite clan members. The confirmation and installation of Omutaka Lwomwa Eria Lwasi Buzabo took place at Mbale, the headquarters of Ndiga clan, Mawokota County in Mpigi district.
Lwasi Eria Buzabo. Taata ye mugenzi Eria Lwasi, Mukama yamujjulula alina kaseeta.
Emikisa gya Katonda gikukuume era oyagalanga nnyo Uganda kubanga ebitabo 52 bikulinako obuyinza. Olwaleero kiragidde wano nga gobadde oyinza wandiga naye ku bitabo 52 gwebina bakubaddeko n'obuyinza okujjako oba okuteekako. Tuwagaliza ekisa kya Katonda gyonna.
Ya Ssaabasajja nga nkolera ekika kyange era n'obwa Ssaabasajja ate era n'obuweereza mu bitongole ebyenjawulo omuli n'ekkanisa Namugongo nz'omu kubalaba nti tubbulula ekifo ekyo ky'abajulizi era ndi muwandiisi waayo ekkanisa endi mu 5 njagala nnyo Venerable Bwembo bwabadde wano ne Reverend Rasiri Stephen muto wange be bamu ku abawa obujulizi. Ekika gye tuvudde ne Engineer Daniel Bosa kati omugenzi tukoze ebintu bingi ate era ne tuwa essuubi. Olwaleero mbawa obweyamu nti ye we yakomye olw'olukiiko olulungi olukwatagana nga mulimu n'abawabuzi tugenda mu maaso okutuukiriza byeyama gye muli.
Limited or no access to quality medicines has contributed to the disease progression, treatment failure, drug resistance, and death, among others. This was revealed during a dialogue meant to create awareness on the availability of quality drugs on a customer, a day organized by Jinja Catholic Diocese in conjunction with the joint medical stores.
Recent health reports show that about 60% of Ugandans can't access quality health care because of high healthcare costs, poor transport to the facilities, and shortage of essential drugs. As a result, many Ugandans suffer disease and in the long run die. During the Customer Day dialogue at Jinja Diocese Medical Stores, participants highlighted the effects of lack of essential medicines and dialogue.
A drug of 500 milligrams. You realize that a manufacturer may put in all the 300 milligrams instead of 500 milligrams as active ingredient in that drug. And then at the end of the day, the price will be reduced so that they can win markets.
Because someone comes after taking some medication. So by the time you do lab tests, you really don't get the good results because people are really doing self-medication. But JMS already taught us on how to help educate our clients.
The Diocesan Health Coordinator, Dorcas Musubaho, noted that the joint venture between Jinja Diocese and joint medical stores is extending quality medicines to address health issues in the sub-region.
Don't be deceived outside there with fake medicines, as people say they are cheap. There is nothing cheap. It is all about your health. There is no spare tire for your health. That means you need the best quality medicine.
The diocese is currently constructing a private, not-for-profit medical hospital to improve the health of the people in Busoga sub-region.
We are calling upon all the population to come to Joint Medical Store, where they will be served with quality and affordable medicine.
The influx of students to Malongo Secondary School in Mayuge district has raised concern among leaders, students, and the communities. The school that initially accommodated 1,200 students following the recent admissions stands at 1,700 with the same infrastructure. Malongo SS is a hard-to-reach school, government school in Mayuge, serving the sub-counties of Malongo, Jaguzi, and Bwonda. UBC TV visited Malongo SS in Bunya South.
My name is Namla Wasara Obua. By the grace of God, the head teacher of Malongo Secondary School. As Malongo SS is a hard-to-reach school, at some point you have to remove the shoes and walk on your foot. So the teachers don't want to come. I would imagine even the parents prefer to take their children to schools that are well facilitated. Secondly, being a hard-to-reach place, in a place which I would call, in quotes, remote, the parents don't want to facilitate their children, so it is generally hard to teach. The main challenge that I have in the school today is infrastructure. I have a big enrollment of approximately 1,700 students, but I do not have the facilities. The parents are contributing 20,000 to build classrooms. The grass-thatched house you see over there is our staff room, and it was constructed by the parents then. However, the teachers no longer use it because of lack of facilities. It had been given to the A-level students. and the teachers spend much of their time under the trees.
The dormitory is small. That's the only challenge they are facing.
Teachers come from far, and the road is poor, as you've seen. We have poor roads. We don't have accommodation for teachers, and the teachers also are few because they call this way a hard to reach area. Everyone who is sent this way, it's as if he is given a punishment.
Now, students from over 80 schools are to engage in a debate aimed at creating awareness about fighting drugs and trafficking while launching the Crossfire competition at Namiryango College. Police Commissioner on Trafficking, Julius Trinomujuni, said they will provide booklets that will guide the participants.
Over 80 schools have registered to compete in the debate competition launched at Namiryango College. The Crossfire competition looks at having students engage in a debate about fighting drugs and trafficking among youth, protecting the environment to mitigate climate change and others.
We want to let these young people demystify human trafficking so they can have the knowledge to protect and defend themselves and also know their rights wherever they go. So this 2024, so far in the central region, we have over 38 schools by now, and we assume to have more, but our target to have to walk to 80 schools.
So all the themes will be given attention, but we have great interest in human trafficking. Human trafficking, it cuts across, especially in this new generation. We look at our children, we look at our sisters, we look at our own students even.
Police Commissioner and Trafficking Department Julius Trinomujini say the discussion will help students become aware of traffickers.
It will help you in your research. This law is going to help you to understand what is human trafficking, because once you understand it, you'll be able to debate it very well. You'll be able at a personal level to know, first of all, when you are looking at the causes, the main drivers of human trafficking, sometimes, as I said, is poverty, unemployment.
They should accept to know that they are a team, and then two, the power of victory is in the argumentation of facts.
He pledged to provide booklets that have the rules and guidelines for the debate. The learners have expressed optimism of winning this year's competition.
But we have very high expectations because we are doing a lot of training and the public speakers club.
As far as our expectations from the high school Crossfire is to find out more and discuss our views about the politics and the situations taking place in the country. Like also us as children, we have a voice and we are the voice of the future.
You'll be informed with the current affairs, with the various research that we do for various topics or resolutions that we get on various debates that we are going to have. They really add in a lot morally. Then also they tackle our thinking, yes, and they prepare us for the future.
The Crossfire debate is an annual event, and last year, Namiryango College won the competitions.
Amref Health Africa and partners have distributed up to 300 bicycles to heroes for gender transformation, providing them with newfound mobility and with a vision to empower thousands of vulnerable community members in their regions. The initiative was in alleviating transport hurdles among communities of Uganda, Namayingo and Bujiri districts.
By providing these bicycles to heroes of Uganda, Namayingo and Bujiri districts, the aim is to create tangible transformations within these communities.
We have worked with the World Bicycle Relief, an entity that produces high-quality bicycles and provides them in a model that helps the community health worker to work until they can fully own the bicycle. So we have come together in this initiative to help and support about 300 community health workers with these bicycles. And this support is in line with the National Community Health Strategy, where entities in collaboration with the Ministry of Health support community health workers with technologies, with equipment, with tools that helps them to reach the last mile.
Government now is coming up with an approach of prevention more than curative. So when these VSTs are supported by these forms of transport, they will be able to mobilize and sensitize the communities on good health-seeking behaviors in such a way that the preventable diseases at least can be eliminated or prevented, so that they can save the time and resources. They would use this time to engage themselves in income-generating projects. And this will serve government in investing in curative and then concentrate on other activities.
Most people, especially women and girls, face hurdles when traveling to access healthcare facilities. Fueled by a mission to improve gender inclusivity, Heroes for Gender and Transformative Action Program worked with World Bicycle Relief to break down barriers and foster change.
What is being done by AMREF and the Heroes program is totally in line not only with what we as ministry are promoting, but also the global body is looking at how can we improve the livelihood of our population by first making them healthy and also making sure they have incomes that they can be able to sustain themselves with. Ladies and gentlemen, the work that you are going to do, the work that you have been able to do and will continue to request you to do, is the work that is going to help us promote health at the household level.
They are going to be signing agreements with us, and in signing those agreements, it's a commitment that are not going to be selling these bicycles.
The ripple effects of the Heroes program extend beyond bicycles for transportation alone, as it enables individuals to pursue new opportunities and realize their true potential.
Coordinator, VHT coordinator in Gondohera Parish. Nayo kutambula villages yenna bibadde binkalubirisa.
This bicycle is going to help me in reaching the targets of me as a person individually, and also reaching the targets of the organization. I really thanks to the organization. I really thanks to my bosses.
Sudat Kaye and Vincent Wamundu, UBC News.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
If your dream is to study abroad and explore new horizons, mark your calendar because the Africa Students Education Fair, in collaboration with WR Education Placement Consultants, proudly presents the 14th Annual Africa Students Education Fair on the 1st and 2nd of March at the Sheraton Hotel, Kampala. Interact with representatives from world-renowned colleges and universities, explore study abroad options, and dive into a world of endless opportunities. Don't just dream about it, make it happen. For more information, call us on 0702 628 446 or visit our website asfevents.com.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one. Pamoja, we are one. Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Welcome back. We now take you to the world of business. The Presidential CEO Forum has been engaging with farmers and various stakeholders in the agricultural sector to benchmark best practices in agro-processing. This follows a 4-day tour in Nebi, Yumbe, Gulu, Lira and Agago districts.
Northern Uganda has over half of Uganda's arable land and receives abundant rainfall, presenting a potential for agriculture. The region is already a major supplier of cassava, simsim, shea butter, soya bean, and fruits. But farming is at subsistence level where farmers are unable to fully capitalize the opportunities.
This community needs support for tractor because the oxen cannot do much during dry season and the rain is unpredictable. You're running to time with the rain. So the tractor can help us maybe in the preparation of land earlier and then the oxen can support when the rain comes.
One of the challenges is the market.
Quality of inputs and cost. Government must step in. If we do not have the district farm institutes and the narrows of today, rising to the occasion, we are wasting time.
While Uganda is a distribution hub for South Sudan and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, supplies are often kept in bonded facilities in Kampala, increasing costs due to long distance. The operationalization of the Gulu Logistics Hub is expected to address this challenge of distribution.
So it's meant to improve on our exports, mainly those that are grown within the region. It's also one way of reducing costs of doing business. Instead of people taking cargo to be cleared in Kampala or at Legu around the borders, now cargo can come directly up to Gulu Logistics Hub, which is the center within the region, northern region.
Additionally, the Agents for Accelerated Regional Development and stakeholders are seeking to empower small-scale farmers.
We have formed quite a number of cooperatives, and we can say that not all of them are 100% doing well. But there are some that we are proud to be part of. There are those that are struggling, but we are using that as a learning point.
Government has also selected Northern Region to host the 5th biannual Private Chief Executive Officers Retreat, scheduled for April in Gulu City. This has begun with a field visit to various sites with the aim of understanding challenges and realistic options for supporting agro-industrialization in northern Uganda.
Northern Uganda is ready for world-class commercial agriculture because they have land. You've had in the discussion we've had with the farmers.
The morning has come for the northern region. If you thought you had been forgotten, I want each one of you to walk out here feeling extremely important, knowing that you're going to be ambassadors for Uganda in whatever you're doing.
The Presidential Chief Executive Officers Forum advocates for the interests of both private and public sectors in Uganda.
This is a forum that was initiated by the President for purposes of bringing together private sector, that is the engine growth of the economy, but more so to convene them to always engage with government on key policy initiatives that add value, to the national development agenda.
Under the patronage of His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, it leverages its distinct abilities to bridge the private and public sectors to achieve the National Development Plan 3 and Vision 2040. Nahoho Rashid Matselele, reporting for UBC TV.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Banana farmers in Isinjiro district are yet to benefit from a 4-year project dubbed Diversity for Resilient Agroforestry Banana Plantations in East Africa. The aim is to transform food systems to improve.
Bananas are grown extensively in western Uganda and are a major source of livelihood and food. However, farmers have for a long time practiced monoculture that limits the optimization of land but also increases vulnerability to climate change.
Banana is the main staple and cash crop for this district. It has been around for quite long. So that's where people generate income, that's where people get food. However, for some time, extension services have been promoting monoculture of this crop, and the people's mindset have been tuned towards planting it as a single crop. However, that one is associated with a number of challenges, one of them being high susceptibility to strong winds. When strong winds come,
This project has come up to help us have an integration of different tree species that can help us to regulate on the climate change. These trees will be also acting as windbreaks so that they can control these other bananas from the stress of wind, and also from the pests that are also attacking these banana plantations. And also looking at what this project is going to help us do, it's going to also help us support farmers, like capacity building, equip them with knowledge of how to do the intervention, support with some seedlings, also support the nurseries where people can also get these seedlings which they can use to intercrop.
Now, Alliance of Biodiversity and International Center for Tropical Agriculture, CIAT, wants to implement a 4-year project dubbed Diversity for Resilient Agroforestry Banana Plantations in East Africa to promote polyculture in Isingiro district. Polyculture is the cultivation of 2 or more compatible plants, including trees.
So this project comes in handy to help these farmers to make sure that instead of having only bananas in the cropping area, they integrate in some tree species, the native tree species, which they are used to. They know they can provide benefits to them and also to the environment. We are in the era of climate change. Many things are happening. Isingiro district, for the past years, they've experienced droughts in many years. And to reduce this kind of impact over time, we need to find a solution. And one way of doing this is to make sure that we integrate these tree species in the cropping system.
Yeah, this project, through diversification, we intend also to improve the nutrition within the systems, because at the moment most of the households are focusing on banana, and a few of them can afford to buy some of these nutritious crops from outside in the market. So by introducing a diverse basket of foods, crops, and native tree species, we hope that they can be able to attain some of their nutritional needs through this project.
Farmers who have practiced polyculture confess that bananas can do well with indigenous trees for as long as proper agronomical practices are followed.
The advice I'm giving to my fellow farmers is to plant these trees in the banana plantation. They don't have any problem as long as you have spaced them very well.
The tree monitors, its leaf as well also falls down and decomposes very fast compared to other leaves for eucalyptus and other trees. This is macamia, we call it musambia in our local names. So I don't know how in Uganda how they call it. It has been there for a long time and it is very common in every farm. It is one of the reasons why we do give them to farmers, because you can even find in their areas and it has not affected any crop in their land.
Some of the trees that are intercropped with bananas are fruit trees that help in improving nutrition, while others provide firewood.
Fruit, though they are just beginning, at least I get so surprised if I spend 3 days without eating a jackfruit. And of course I have a number of children that I take care of, that I have adopted, and even my own children. So at least they enjoy the environment, they have what to eat. You will not hear them complaining of hunger.
And through integration of native trees, especially targeting those which are fast growing, we hope that we can be able to increase access to firewood within households and to curb the expansion into forests, to cutting of trees for fuel. So we hope this also will help to alleviate the gender challenges that women are experiencing, especially in access to firewood.
When you intercrop the trees with a banana, it's easy for you to get the firewood that you can use to cook your food. Like for example, here in Karangura sub-county, Kabarole district, women travel long distances, go to the national park, to encroach the national park to get the firewood. But when you have intercropped the trees with the banana, it's easy for you to get the firewood to use to cook. And then there are some trees that are planted in the banana plantation, the fruit trees. There are some that are nutritious to the kids, like the pawpaw.
And in the world of sports, Elite runners, including Joshua Cheptegei, will be part of the Absa Kampala Hash House Harriers 7 Hills Run, due on the 17th of this month at Kololo Grounds. The run looks at maintaining the girl child in school, as these details entail.
The second edition of Absa Kampala Hash House Harriers 7 Hills Run is on aiming more participation compared to last year. The 2024 edition is scheduled for Sunday, March 17, 2024, with 5 kilometers and 21 kilometer distances to be covered. The 2024 edition is scheduled for Sunday, March 17, 2024, with 5 kilometers and 21 kilometer distances to be covered from Kololo Independence Grounds.
Integrated Financial Services, we are committed to being our customers' first choice to sustain, grow, and protect their prosperity. By
social responsibility, we have an annual budget that we extend towards society in different aspects.
The run will be covering the 7 iconic hills of Kampala city, namely Mengo, Kololo, Chibuli, Namirembe, Old Kampala, Nakasero, and Makerere.
We're very honored that Absa has chosen us to be a part of this noble cause. Professionals that want to show up, you'll see endorsement from a professional, which is encouragement that you too can take part in this run.
The first edition, which attracted over 2,500 runners, both individuals and corporate entities, raised shillings 200 million in proceeds, which were dedicated towards tackling girl-child-related societal challenges in reintegrating teenage mothers in school, skills training and improving menstrual cycle management to manage school absenteeism and drop-out rates among girls. At least 2,750 girls benefited from last year's edition. Despite high levels of enrollment, recent data shows that only 53% of Ugandan girls aged 6 to 12 years complete their required 7 years of primary education, and only 22.5% of the female Ugandan population enroll in secondary education.
Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, which is nearing the completion of its renovation, being undertaken by the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade, is our next story, where John Barnes Sentamo took time to visit the location.
10 days after the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, visited Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, our team has returned to the iconic stadium. The reason was to ascertain further details for public consumption about progress at this stadium that is being renovated by the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade at a cost of 97 billion Uganda shillings.
When this news came up that we had to take on Nambole, and following the directive by His Excellency, and already what I had on press, the doubters, saying UPDF has no capacity, it we can't do it. One, I had to say that this is the time now to prove our worth. It was the time for us to come and show Ugandans that we can do this. And we can do this without foreign aid or foreign labor expatriates. So immediately the news broke out. We prepared ourselves. The commander, Afande Bekunda Besije, instructed us to come and do the best. And they told us that, one, the fight all along all the complaint is about shoulder work, that is about inflated rates, it is about delays in the delivery of a project. So he just told us, go and deliver this project. Ensure it is delivered on time and it is of quality.
Work started in February 2022 with the task of securing land from encroachers and faced a delay seeking a consultant, ultimately zeroing on a local one to promote Buy Uganda, Build Uganda.
Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, and then the State Minister for Minister of Education and the Sports, then the State Minister for Minister of Works and Transport sat down and resolved. They said, let us procure our own consultant from Ministry of Works for those who handle public utilities now and structures. So they appointed the Minister of Works to work as a consultant, and then they straight away kicked on with the consultants, providing us drawings. So the delay took around 4 months. So when you add the 4 months to the other, those are already 10 months we are here. Now, when we started the work, from there up to now, we have never stopped. So approximately we have taken so far 17 months here, 17. Now, on record, I want this noted to fellow Ugandans that world over, even if you moved around, you find that the full renovation of a stadium takes minimum of 3 years. But for us on record, we are going to take less than 2.5 years to deliver this structure.
Despite the magnificent work compared to what this stadium looked like a few years ago, there have been numerous challenges.
The encroachers, when we were constructing the perimeter wall, people had encroached on the land. So we had first of all to evict them. Then another challenge we met here mainly is the vandalism, theft. Then another challenge, I think, which has been some delays. Delays came as one, the lead time of importation. You know, most of the materials come from abroad. Like now, floodlights, which are delaying. If they were to be manufactured here, we'd just go to the shop and buy. And we have also some challenges of the salvaged materials. Down there, we removed all. This was total overhaul. We did total overhaul the stadium, implying there were all the pipes, all the iron sheets, all these materials have been heaped here and they have not yet been disposed of. They pose a security threat in that while these other snakes can grow there and might bite people with the time, we realized that when that stadium requires a lot of water for watering. So what UPDF did through our leadership, they advised me to sink a borehole, and we sank a borehole which is very rich in water, and it is the water we are using to water the pitch. So there we have reduced on the cost of water. They will only be just paying maybe for power to pump the water here.
Our visit happened just days after Confederation of African Football Inspectors tour of the stadium ahead of Uganda's World Cup qualifier against Botswana in June. We were told that the visiting CAF delegation was impressed by works at the stadium and advised a few adjustments, especially the media tribunal.
The media tribunal, as I was told you, according to the CAF inspector who came here recently, he advised that media tribunal, the press, whatever, they must be on the same side with the mixed zone. So now, the arrangement or the design, as it is now, the tribunal is this side, the mixed zone the other side. So we needed to do some breaking here and there to ensure that they're on the same side. But as of now, and what we have agreed is that we need to buy a lift, and we need to change now to interchange. The rooms which were for press this way should go the other side. So we will do interchange and make sure that the tribunal and the press are on the same side.
The project engineer, Lieutenant Colonel Seku Kidemuka, also clarified on the situation of the floodlights and the athletics track that are a must for the stadium to reopen.
The major work remaining here is the tartan. The tartan is of high grade because first of all, before we procured it, people had to go for pre-inspection or visit. They tested the materials passed. Now this one is going to be in situ. They have already brought the materials, the granules. We have so far brought in 10 trucks of granules. We are ready to start. But what has delayed the start is because one, if before they fix floodlights, the fear is they bring a crane which might destroy a tartan. But we have revised the worker method that the floodlights will be fixed from outside. We shall buy a bigger crane. So anytime from now, as you see, the preparations are going on. Is the one is to put the drainage, to put the wires along the finishing line, to do all what is necessary, first fix works, and they are almost being done. And then we are doing resurfacing of the D section. Then afterwards, within 2 weeks, we shall cast the tartan and it will be complete. Floodlights, you can see the other top part is ready. The points have been fixed. First fix has been done. What we are waiting for is only now to fix the floodlights. They have already been paid for. The Commander Engineers Brigade had to ensure that we do a procurement, and he paid 50% for them. What is remaining is if they clear the balance as quickly as possible, we shall send the balance and all other. And I hear part of it is in transit because for those materials we import, you must clear 100% before they are delivered, especially floodlights. Then we have the lead display system, And then the pitch also tartan, they brought also what the commander managed to pay. He cleared about 60%, is also waiting for the balance. So floods is on the way, and by March, early March, by 10th, they will be arriving here and we shall start fixing. Fixing takes around, general fixing and testing takes a month also. So as they work, we shall be fixing.
A move around the stadium showed improvements like the turnstiles that are now in place, and according to the engineer, will allow more than 200 fans per minute. Whereas many doubted the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade, advantages of using it go beyond the beauty scene when one visits this iconic stadium.
So we save one by putting low labor, low costs, and the one is to avoid the middlemen who would come around and like kickbacks. So as I was earlier saying, the normal contractor civilian gave 430, but for us total was 287 billion to do all these works in phases. The first phase is 97, which we have done. We expect all other phases, like the second phase will be putting a canopy enclosing here, maybe providing a pitch cover, so that all other people also are able to use this pitch. Then constructing a swimming pool. Then the third phase will be maybe providing an indoor stadium, if all goes well. We pray always that our plans are in line with God's plan.
Whereas the public appreciate the stadium's state, there were questions about the shower rooms that require partitioning, an area UPDF has promised to address after consultation. With the stadium an old seater and fitted with modern technology, especially regarding ticketing, UPDF advises the public on access and maintenance. It should be noted that the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade is deeply involved in infrastructure development, especially in the health and education sectors.
Well, I must say many Ugandans really can't wait for that stadium to start operating and perhaps have a game or two on the field. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and that brings us to the end of our news tonight. Thank you for being a lovely, lovely audience. Up next, the weather forecast.
UBC in